Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the official Nick Walsh TV channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm just popping out my chat so I can see what you guys are saying because I keep popping out the PokerStars channel chat on accident. Welcome everybody, how you guys doing? Croupier is here, Undersea Monkey, hello. We're gonna spin and go today, don't worry. Tom is here. I know that was a long loading bar. Sorry guys, I'll explain more in just a moment. And it was something to do with that. Yes, Tom. And thank you, everyone who came to join us nice and early. Also, shout out to the YouTube crowd. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, with an EO at the end. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, so apologies for the slightly later than normal start. It's 2:22, 22 minutes late, later than intended. And that was in part because I was doing some Bloody Mary testing this morning, guys. As many of you will know, I'm launching a company with some friends, and we received some samples today of tomato juice we might possibly use in large quantities. So we wanted to do some trials. Did some trials. Also did some video editing today. There has been some work done on a podcast that I want to release for you guys very shortly. In fact, I think it might even drop tomorrow. You'll learn more about it then, hopefully. I haven't even had a chance to have a shower yet, but it's kind of a vibe. I don't know, guys. In any case, if you're new here, we're going to play Spin and Goes, and we're going to try and win some cash. So let's take a look at the graph so far. All right, this is the chip graph, guys. These are the chips that we're winning and the expected value chips that we're winning alongside regular chips, how much profit and loss we have in chips. How many times can I say chips? We are grinding right now, guys. It went up, it went down. We're trying to get this looking more like this. At the moment, it looks more like this. So we're going to play some poker today. We're going to take some notes. We're going to mark some hands for review, as per usual, and we're going to go and we're going to grind some spins. If you guys are also new here, I'm going to do some sort of a spin and go challenge this year. Last year I played $50,000 worth of $10 spin and goes. This year I'm going to play something like $250,000 worth of $25 spins, something like that. And I'm going to show all the results at as we go and then at the end. So let's just start playing spins. Let's just play some effing spin and goes. Sorry guys, let me restart stars quick. Hello, Blackhammer. Welcome back. Good to have you here. Hello, hello. Spin and watch me go. I'm going to try. I was clean shaven when this went live. I will update that as well, Tom. You guys know I've been making some improvements to stream. We have some nice new emotes for subscribers that I think are some of the best I've ever seen on Twitch. If I do so say so myself. But we will also improve on stream quality as well, guys. We got a lot of things we could still improve on here. All right, let's do it. This weekend I'll have a chance to also take a look at some more. This weekend I'll have a chance to take a look at a couple more of the AI songs we can add to our playlist as well. We're not folding yet, guys. This is a bit of a concern, though. See if he wants to bet turn. Woof. The 10 might slow him down. What if he has 9-10? What if he has Queen 10? No, just the king. Nice hand. So Jack Tray obviously is a fold there pre-flop most of the time against the unknown player. We're trying to be a little bit clever. And our cleverness caught us lacking there. Miss Martian, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah. Stupid limp, I know. I think that there is a general rule of thumb that we need to apply a little bit more liberally here. Generally speaking, in circumstances where we try and be clever, in the 2x and 3x multipliers, we just end up burning ourselves too often. In the 2x and 3x, I think we can afford to be a lot more conventional. Because conventional is good when you have a limited amount of time to execute a more advanced strategy. Being in that pot, blind v blind, in one of the faster spinning goes, probably does not benefit us that much. We probably should just play the hand normally. And I think if we did that more often, we'd do well. In fact, a buddy of mine, a new buddy of mine, in fact, on YouTube has left some very insightful comments and suggestions from some of the streams that we've done recently. Tells me he used to play a lot of Spin and Go Flash, and a lot of what he's saying kind of aligns with my expectations of what we should probably be doing a bit more often. And we just need to be more wary. In the 2x and 3x, I think we just need to play very close. There are spots to deviate. Blind v blind, probably not one of them. Blind v blind, probably not one of them. All right, let's try and do this on the turn. Welcome, John Edwards. Hello. Ollie B says, chips, 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 making me hungry. I'm actually quite hungry. I haven't had anything to eat today. I legitimately woke up around 8. I spiced the Bloody Mary the way that I wanted it for our tasting today. Did some editing, did the tasting, did some more editing, came straight on stream. It was really that wild. Yarp. This is good. This is fine. Diamonds, not ideal. The 6 of diamonds is a particularly poor turn, to be honest. Let's see what we can do, though, because we're not folding yet. If our opponent does have a hand like 5x, 6x, we can still get to showdown a fair amount here. Okay, this is an interesting run out. Lovely. Yeah, there's not really much of a decision. Versus the tiny bet river, we can go for it here. This is all good. There's a chance that we should also be considering a raise on that river after the 1.5, actually. We need to slow it down a little bit. Hello, Joni. Good to see you. Yeah, John Edwards, I'm afraid, was not here to try the new Bloody Marys, but I'll make some up later. If I do say so myself, I think it's safe to say that our Bloody Mary mix is the best it's ever been. We have a lot of really interesting components in there that I think are not involved in most people's conventional Bloody Mary. But the finish, the final product, in my opinion, is exceptional. Probably a bit too wide here.
Surprise, I felt it in my eyes. I see you and I scream, oh God, you got me. So good, it's so unfair. You know you got me there. I'm a sinner, but I pray. Oh God, I can't wait to play.
All right, Undersea Monkey, enjoy your meeting. Maybe see you afterwards. Oh, I don't know. In the 2x multi against the reg. I'm going to play it a little bit tighter. I'm going to play a little bit tighter than Nash. What's up, Martin Samuels? Good to see you. A fold would be lovely, but sevens is a real nightmare. The guy has less than 2 big blinds, wakes up with a pair, feels fantastic, of course. Nice answer. All right, next game. We're probably not a million miles away from another chest. Yeah, we're pretty close, actually. Another chest would be lovely. Adds the stack here. Can we get there in 18 days? Yes, we can. So yeah, actually, sorry, Tom, I didn't even elaborate. So today we were testing the mix in combination with our favorite tomato juice so far, which is from a brand called Isle of Wight Tomatoes. The Isle of Wight is an island off the coast of the south of England here. And they're famous for their tomatoes. There's a lot of really good tomatoes there. So that was our sort of go-to for the flavor profile we were looking for. And today we were trialing a product that we were suggested from one of our advisors who's helping us to get set up in the industry. So today was a big deal, and I did a blind taste test with 2 other directors. They had a chance to taste our sort of favorite version from before against the new version with the new tomato juice. And they actually went for it. They preferred they straight up just preferred the new product, which is fantastic news. Pampion says it's way too tight, not calling 9-5 suited. Maybe it is. It probably is. It's definitely Nash. It's definitely Nash within probably about 1.5 big blinds, which isn't a lot of big blinds, but when you're that shallow, it's obviously a significant amount, right? There's a chance we just call there. I don't know. Theoretically, I think we just call. I tell you what we'll do. We'll mark that one for review. And when I say review, I think probably it's safe to say that we know it's a call from a GTO perspective. But what I want to see is, what I really want to see is how close to Nash GTO is calling, because there's a chance that GTO will make some exceptions. At that stack depth, probably not, though. It's probably just straight Nash, right? We'll take a look, though, Pampion. Thank you for keeping me honest. Like I said, at the moment, I know it's probably technically a GTO call, but in the 2x multi, I think probably we just spin. We just gave a whole speech about that about 2 seconds ago, right? Literally just gave a speech about how we need to play faster in the 2x and 3x multis. Requena. All right, wish me luck, chat. Here we go. Pretty much straight equity spot, and we do get lucky with our tray. I need to do some node locking. I think this year I'm going to upgrade and do some node locking in these spots. But yeah, Pampion, you can look it up yourself. I think 9-5 suited is a call at like 5 bigs. And it was 4-3.5.
Now my pockets feel like empty stories. the silver turn to dust, and oh, yeah. I bet my last dollar on a baby. Thought the river washed my sins away, but it just showed me what I already knew. House always gets its pay, so here I am.
All right, let's get into it.
Got a busted phone, bad excuse, and a head full of scenes. Gonna lay it down on the table.
Raquenia, very good reg.
No spin. I was hoping for a miracle, baby, and I lost again. I lost my last dollar on a maybe, on a gut shot dream I couldn't fold. Now my pockets feel like empty stories. All the silver turned to dust, and
Yeah, seems good.
I bet my last dollar on a maybe. Thought the river washed my sins away, but it just showed what I already knew. House always gets its pay. It just showed me what I already knew. I can't live my life this way.
Six, 7, 8, 9. We'll just push this one. Fair play. Very much live cards. Not a live river, though.
Shoes on, crooked cone in my hand. Day started wrong, now it's gonna plan. Street light flickers when I cross the road. Tonight's my night, this is my show. I don't knock on wood, don't even care. Everywhere I go, luck's already there. I'm running like God, don't slow me down. Every green light when I hit this town. I stay high, can't stay high day to night. I'm running like God. Wrong side number still pay me right. Miss my train, caught a better ride. House looks nice,
Queens.
walking late. I don't tempt fate, I just run great. Call it chance, call it fraud. I just move different when I'm this hot. I'm running like
All right, so how do we play here? With one pot behind. Pantheon says, yeah, bang on 5. At that depth, 1.5 seems like a lot against the regular. I'm with you, mate. I think you're probably right. I guess we're just shoving the turn. Wish me luck, guys.
running like God. I'm running like God. Hear that sound? That's the universe backing down. Cash don't stall, clocks don't stop when I'm moving fast. Running like God. If it all falls off, I'll still fall. But right now. I swore this was the last night. Swore I'd just play small.
That is not the worst run outs. King of Diamonds would be a sad story, but there we are. I guess this is how we would bluff, so we're going to keep it balanced. He can ISO a lot of random trash that has a diamond and still calls river shove, right? I mean, we should be ahead of the range with Jack High regardless some of the time. All right, get in with the King 9. Yeah, pretty straightforward here. Two live cards, no sweat. No sweat. Nice. GG. And a head full of scenes. Gonna lay it down on the table, tell you straight, no spin. Yeah, I was overcalling too wide here in the big blind when there was a raise and a call. Thank you very much for the follows, by the way, guys. Am I not getting alerts about it? Miss Martian, I give you a shout out. Noobs, thank you for the follow. Levare, thank you for the follow as well. I'm not sure what happened with my alerts there. All right, just a min raise here. Might have saved myself some chips. Finding the pure min raise there. Say pure min raise. Finding the min raise there, not pure. Some of the time, probably jamming once in a while. That is not the worst flop I have ever seen. That was a very, very swift check. All right, we have notes on this guy. He's not folding the flop. He is not folding flop, which means he is not folding turn. Which means we have quads, and he's never folding ace high. This guy has never folded ace high before in his life. Ever. Fair. Maybe he does. Maybe he really does. Yeah, Queen 10 is a fair call here. Get the hold, covering both players significantly now. This one is fine. Maximize the aggression here. We'll double check the Queen 9 jam, but I'm pretty sure that we're in this ultra short stack spot. It's going to be a powerhouse. Take a look at it in just a second. We'll do a little review there. Two players with the same hand. Ten out of 10. All right, we are good. Yeah, Calvin. I'll tell you what. I'll mark it for review, but I'm almost positive we have to get away from most of our weakest suited hands. That was a spot. I could be completely chatting shit right now, but I was defending pretty much any suited hand there previously, but once we get to 15 big blinds effective, I think most of them need to come out. That's how I felt. The way that you're describing it is exactly why I felt like we needed to continue. However, I'm almost positive that we take out a lot of the weakest stuff there. I'll mark that too. Queen 9 is marked. Yep. Tell you what, Calvin, I don't know if you're sticking around. Yeah, I mean, like, the other issue that we have, Calvin, is the solve is not going to probably... The solve is also going to assume that our opponents playing in the small blind are doing something very specific, because really we're not supposed to be flatting almost at all in the small blind versus the button min raise. So the whole thing is going to be somewhat warped. You probably have to... I would imagine you probably have to node lock it with what you perceive to be the flatting range in the small blind. Out of interest, I would say you probably do want to call wider than GTO, because your opponent's calling range in the small blind isn't going to be correct. It's going to be all kinds of stupid shit, in which case we end up having a lot more equity in the spot, which means that getting that price you probably do want to continue. It is a really interesting one, though. We'll take a look at that one later on. I was going to say maybe we'll jump in now, but... Is my boombox officially installed yet, or is it going to disappear in a minute? I don't know why it takes so long to check these. Please stay, please stay, please stay, please stay. All right, boombox is good. Boombox installed. What up, Danas? What's up, Nettie? Welcome back. Thank you for your continued support.
Shrug and say some bills get paid on time now, but the past still hums. Money's just a jacket, keeps you warm till spring. It don't fix everything, but it sure helps things. Yeah, I rake it in, chip by chip, slow and thin. Didn't come here just to almost win. I came to rake it in.
Can't do this one. Sevens are a good hands. Ace King Hearts, baby. Let's go. We got a min raise off of like 8 big blinds here. This should be really strong. You know what else is strong, though? Ace King of Hearts. How many outs? How many outs? Wow. 2 overcards, flush draw, and all the counterfeits. That was a sad story. Two unknown players here. In the 2X, unfortunately, we want the unknown players to be in. Want the unknown players in the big multis. Wow, 8-9 push here. Gamba Gamba. All right, let's make it work. In the 2X multi, let's play it fast. Let's play this one fast in the 2X multi. Terrible run out. Fucking awful run out. God damn it. Really, really, really bad. We managed to get so many big blinds in there on the turn as well. Managed to get so much of our stack in the middle. Okay, back in the game. What's up, Lawler? Book Paris. You arrived kind of late on the 25th. All right, nice, man. That's fantastic. This guy is gambling. He's going to hit a tray on us here. Come on now. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. All right, tell you what, though. Let's reg one right away, please. We got our friend Doriki again right away. This was the player we were playing just a moment ago. Sorry, this is the fresh game, guys. Oh, it's a 1-2-5 as well. Nice. All right, so this guy is clearly punting pre-flop. How much can we get away with here? Pocket Jacks is very fair. Ace 10 of clubs going in the middle here, especially based on what we saw just a moment. We saw him doing some very, very crazy things. Running into jacks is whatever. The alternative way to play that hand is to get the chips in just the same, so it's all fine. All right. We got our notes in. Yeah, Lawler, I'll see you there, buddy. So I don't remember my exact dates. I think I'm arriving on the 21st. I'll be playing the Spinning Go Championship, which is at the start of Paris this time. I will be probably doing commentary on that as well, depending on how my performance is. And then I'll be staying until the main event for commentary on the main. We should have a great time. I really look forward to Paris. Fair, fair, fair. Definitely a fair fight. We don't want to miss the opportunity to play in position here. Donos is going to take this one. Yeah, cool. Try and get another VPIP in position where we're effectively heads up against the bigger stack. It's probably not a ridiculous check raise spot. Let's give this a go. Okay, we have a gut shot. Let's fire turn. Hello, Full Spin Poker. What's up, buddy? Good luck for the session. We will not see you at Paris this time. Oh, mate. Sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'll try and take it down for you anyway, bud. I will try my best to take it down for you. It's our turn to have jacks this time. Lovely. Hello, Lawler. Amazing. Not sure how much I will play, but I want to eat a lot of beef bourguignon and see museums. There's plenty of that, man. There's a lot of that in Paris. Paris has some really amazing museums. I mean, the Louvre is just cavernous. It's absolutely massive. I wouldn't mind going back, to be honest. Last time I was there was a long time ago, and I only saw a little bit. Hello, Zintex. 1, 2, 5. Next game, please. Not sure what's going on with the chair today. I don't feel like I'm at the right height. Oh, I bet you that was Ruthie. Guys, how much you want to bet that was young Ruthie causing trouble? I bet you that was the young Ruth causing all kinds of chaos. That's a bit better. Nope. Spin Gang. Spin Gang official. Graph Gang official. All right. Let's get a couple more victories in the bag, please. How often does my opponent barrel the 9 of clubs? I'd say a fair amount. Don't know if we can call a big bet here. Honestly, probably not ridiculous to call again, but there we are. Queen and Jack of the spade variety. Straight into kings. He gave me a high five, though. That's got to count for something. Nice hand, Dennis. Well done. Queen, Jack of spades into kings is not good. Still always a 3-bet jam. Still gonna put the chips in the middle. I don't think it's right to ask you not to play. But if you fold your cards, that's okay.
And if you win it, I hope it makes you happy. Ooh, and if you don't, you don't have to tell me. Ooh, chips in the middle. It's a shame the world's so brittle, but all it takes is one more shuffle. All it takes is one more shuffle.
All right, can we sneak in a little sneaky trap here?
When you said it so proud. Oh, babe, your cards are all face down. I don't think it's right to ask you not to play. But if you fold your cards, that's okay. Yeah. And if you win it, I hope it makes you happy. Ooh, and if you don't have to tell me. Ooh, chips in the middle. It's a shame the world's so brittle, but all it takes is one shuffle. All it takes is one more
I think this is probably fine. I'm going to check raise here, guys. He bets. Good turn. If he calls turn, we'll bet on a straight or a heart. Try and get to showdown here with a 6. Yeah, I was going to say the 7 will check flop here a fair amount and probably wants to check back too. But if it comes a heart, we'll go really big. If we get the straight, we'll go really big. Hitting the 6 means a definite slowdown because we can be up against a 3 just as often as second pair on the flop. A Jable and a 9. Didn't have any time bank. Accidentally randomized the check. Yeah, the 6-3 spot was really interesting, Calvin. I had a vibe. I had a distinct vibe on that river, if you couldn't tell. Kings! I need to take a look at my sizings here. I don't know if I'm sizing those correctly. At some point, we start ISOing to 2 big blinds. At some point, we actually start doing 2x ISOs. But I'll have to study it. We got no action with kings twice in this game. What the hell? This is a call. We're calling a shove if we need to. Alright, so it's like this. And then we go broke on the flop. Wish me luck, guys. Lovely. Nay bad, nay bad. We're going to check this one because I'm almost positive Queen 8 falls into the limp call category pre-flop. A lot of playability against the ISO range there for the large ISO. So let's go ahead and mark the Queen 8 suited as a review. And then this actually still folds at the very bottom. Yeah, this is ATC. Nice. Comeback is on for Danas. Comeback is on. Comeback is on. Heart. Hilarious, hilarious finish to that game. Thank you, Ed K, for sharing. Welcome, by the way, Ed K. I didn't say hi to you yet. So sick, but I did my best in the free roll, but I was I was nearly V-scammed. Nice. All right, so sorry, we had a comment over on YouTube. This was Brian Hickman. Not into graphics and throwables. GG Poker has a lot of that. Nice check with the 6 tray. I might have bet too. Honestly, on a different day, Brian, I think you probably want to bet there quite often. I was getting a very, very specific vibe off this player, though. And then, I mean, that vibe, the vibe might have just been, I'm about to get scammed at the end of this spin and go. Which we did, but there we go. So Queen 8 suited marked. Mark this one as well. Wow, big flop for us here. How many outs do we want here? Should we check river? Trap check river? He's not going to have anything, is he? Yeah, he's got king high. He's got king 10. Good trap, good trap. Just got to catch him once in a while there. Ace-5 is definitely a push here. Ace-5 into aces, not ideal. Calvin says we did both. I thought checker was correct as well with the full pot turn bet. Can you mark that one? Just curious. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Of course, that's what we're here to do. Always, always happy to double check those with you, buddy. Brian Hickman says, I need those reads. Well, it's simple, really. Spend the majority of your adult life being a poker fiend. And sometimes, not all the time, and then occasionally you have moments of wisdom. Come on, get Printle. Printle. Not that much luck. Said good luck, not great luck. Double 5 wants to mark 6-4 suited. I will mark that one, dude. Good point. I know you prefer to. I know as a style you prefer to play those ones fast, but I think that we might have a problem with that, though. Let me see. We're 6-4. So the issue that we have with that spot, though, mate, was it was a limped button, which is not a thing in GTO. Or it is, but not in that spot, at least not often. I would say highly infrequent. So we can do some review on it, but whatever GTO Wizard has to say on it, it won't start with a limp button. So what we end up having in this situation, especially because it was a limped button, is our opponent's hand is skews extremely weak. And therefore, having a pair and a flush draw is kind of a monster, especially with the less dead money in the middle, right? If there's tons of dead money and we can generate fold equity where we win a lot at non-showdown, it makes sense to me. If our opponent's going to check the turn, I'm going to have a little stab at it. That's not a thing I do every time. That's a thing I do against this specific player. And then we'll have this in the min-raise category. We'll be calling a jam if we need to. Let's start with a small bet. QB, thank you very much. And then let's start with a bigger bet. Just a little bit. And then let's end with the all-in here. Of course, our opponents can have 8x of hearts, tray x of hearts, all that kind of stuff, but our hand is just wicked strong here. We're always going to want to try and lean all the way in. 10-9 was 10 high on the flop, flush draw on the turn, flush on the river. Fantastic work. And, yeah, there we go. Just getting coolered left, right, and center for chunks. Feels fantastic. The outcome there is going to be the same regardless, right? It doesn't matter how we size our turn bet. Our opponent's not going to fold. That opponent isn't going to fold. And we're just going to barrel off there. I mean, our opponent's going to have weaker king X as well once in a while too. Not to mention the other combos that just connect and call. The 8 just never giving up. Break a chip, thank you, QB. Played 3 $1 spinning goes today. Won 2 of them for a total bank increase of 6.7%. The ones I won, $3 and $5. You make all of this better. I'm trying my best, mate. Trying my best, mate. But yeah, we marked the 6-4. But yeah, there's not going to be much insight on. There's going to be very little insight because it's such a specific spot with the limp button. See what we can glean anyway. Just 10-9 of hearts, getting that backdoor flush, no problem. Feels great. Well done, mate. Really, 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 really spectacular poker. It's the king of poker. The Estonian king of poker. Can a jack be any good here? Okay, we'll take a little extra 2 bigs. Jack and a deuce here is still going to be all right. 2 limp. All in, but not much. That is not the worst flop I've ever seen. Full Spin is asking how it's going at the 25s. It's okay. It's very, very flat. It's very flat so far. Very flat line so far. I think we just commit. We haven't played much yet, mate. We've only played about 500, 600 games. Chop it up. $60 suited still limp at 10? Might be. Might be. We can look that one up. I think the absolute worst suited hands start coming out at 11 or 10. Can't remember exactly. This has got to be a call. Wish me luck, guys. Don't want to overfold in this spot in the 2x. It's going to be razor thin, but what was it? 5 bigs. $2x multis suck, mate. 2x multipliers are honestly Very, very sag. Not because they're 2x multipliers, just because they're so ridiculously fast. Yeah, I mean, 005, you're in a position to look it up. I think I could be over adjusting there. I might be like all the suited hands are still in at 10 or something. Even after all these years. Still not 100% on the pre-flop. I got most of it up there in the brain. Brian Hickman it says Ivy was the consensus king of poker, but I don't think he is anymore. He doesn't play enough. Any thoughts on who is the all-round best now? So I really like. If you had asked me before, I would have said Phil Ivey. I think I probably haven't really changed my opinion too much. It is a good call. I did think the ace highs might stick around there. I think we have a good combo to do it with, though, to be fair. I don't know, Brian Hickman. There are so many great poker players these days. And at this point in history, we have a lot of like super, super fantastic, epic poker players. Barney Boatman has got to be up there. Love Barney Boatman as a person, as a player. He's had a lot. He's had many fantastic results. He's been around forever, and he's been competing at a very high level forever. Nice spot there for the AK. See if we can entice a small blind in here. Otherwise, we'll play this one in position against Printle. Yeah, Brian, it's a good question, mate. It's a good question, though. I mean, like I said, Barney, I think, is up there for me pretty high. To be honest, though, I've never really been a massive. I've been a massive poker fanboy my entire life. As in, I love the game of poker. I'm a fan of poker. I've never been somebody that really idolized poker players specifically. I have a lot of respect for poker players, of course. Like, there's a lot, like I said, there's lots of people who I think are very accomplished and very skilled and have shown how skillful they are over the years. But, like, I know people who are like, oh, if I ever met so-and-so, like, I would just, I would get so starstruck. I don't really feel that way about people in general. But I've never understood, like, I've never understood that level of fandom. Big ISO with the ace-9 suited. I say big ISO, normal size ISO. Guess we're gonna have to continue here for small. Isn't Printle the top reg? Absolutely. Printle is definitely top reg. Now, how do we continue here? I would say we probably can get away with betting again a fair amount. With ace-9 of diamonds specifically, let's see if we can slow it down here. Printle's a really good reg top, yeah, absolutely. Friend of the stream as well, by the way. Friend of stream. Hit the 7. Alan Keating is yeah, he's quite the phenomenon. I've not had the chance to meet him face to face, but I've enjoyed watching him play. I'd say Alan is a relatively new face, I guess, to the more public side of poker. As far as I understand it, seen a lot of him recently, but obviously Barney and company have been around for a long time. All right. And 8-7. Let's find a limp. Mizrachi's got to be up there as well. I mean, Mizrachi was like literally in the first ever poker. I think I had a game on the. I think I had a handheld game. What was it? It was probably the PSPC. The PS. Is that right? PokerStars. PSP. PokerStars portable game console. This is an interesting one, guys. So he doesn't check raise flop. He doesn't check raise flop, and then he. I don't know. I mean, it obviously could just be a 6, but I feel like he's got a lot of random floats like that still in his range when he calls. So story checks out anyway. Michael Mizrachi was in the handheld like WPT game that I bought ages ago, like when that first was a thing, basically. And that puts him in this sort of long-term winner category for sure, and obviously so many amazing results in the last couple of years, indeed. 7s are good enough to raise here. We're going to go for something like this. And we will call a jam if needs be. Me and Printle have found ourselves in these situations a fair amount. I think we are allowed to check here. I think we're allowed to check on these flops, but we will be getting the rest of it in. Okay, no tells, no tells, no tells. Nice. 1, 2, 5 in the bank. Pocket 7s. Lovely, lovely no decision flop for us there. And top pair for our opponent. Shout out to Printle. Definitely friend of stream. QB says, I'd be starstruck if I met you, Nick, but then again, huge fan. Stop it, mate. Just stop it. Ever since I scooped Ivy in cash, I don't fear his reputation at the table. Variance and aggression is the great equalizer. Gotta battle. Let's go, Lord. I love that. No, like, look, when I get asked this question, I kind of draw a blank often, but not because I don't have people who I think are just absolutely fucking awesome at poker. I just am a dumbass, and my brain goes to a different place when people put me on the spot like that. But Mizrachi, like, I mean, like, super legend, right? Michael Mizrachi, legend. Ivy, legends. Barney Boatman, legends. There's a lot of English legends as well that like maybe aren't as visible to the American audience, but like would have been around forever and ever and ever. Sam Grafton, there you go. There's a legend. to be fair, Sam is considerably younger than some of the people we're describing as the GOAT. So I'd say Sam Grafton is already a legend as a human being and as a poker player. Really enjoy Sam's company. But maybe he has to be a little bit older to get full GOAT status. Jason Kuhn is a fantastic poker player, of course, as well. Also a member of Team Pro. I don't know if we're just naming great poker players. There's probably a lot of people I should mention on Team Pro, but I guess I thought we were going for more old school. Like I wouldn't say that I think Ivy is like old. I'm not sure that's how I would describe Ivy. I think we can flat here. I think we're also allowed to raise here as well. I think on Rainbow we're just going to flat. Alright, where do we start this hand? Complete unknown player bets 6 on the turn here is just catastrophic. Should we just pay that man his money? Oh, we should pay that man his money! We should pay that man his money. Pay that man his money.
Somebody told me God watches out for the working man. Is it true? I don't know. I only know.
I'm going to check the turn.
Has a funny way of showing.
And we're going to value bet the river.
He watches out for the working man. 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 See,
Nice. Seidel. Oh, man, Seidel's got to be way up there as well. How could I forget Mr. Seidel? Yeah, Brian. I mean, both of the Foxens. Both of the Foxes are Foxens. Both of the Foxens are Foxes. All right, let's have a little lead at the turn.
he watches out for the working man.
Question if we should commit to the river if he calls.
God watches out for the working man. Is it true? I don't know. I only know that God sure has a funny way of showing.
Yeah, you mean Andy Block?
He watches out for the working man.
Seidel still beams nerds. I love that. Accurate as well. Very accurate. Seidel does beam nerds.
He watches out for the working man.
It's a great phrase. Seidel beams nerds.
He watches out for the working man.
A J and a T. I think we can bet flop. I think we can also check flop. I think betting flop is slightly better.
I felt it in my eyes.
And at this point, I think our opponent is going to have a 5. Sometimes they're going to have a 9.
Oh God, you got
Jack or a 10 is always a real pay card here.
so good, it's so unfair. You know you got me there.
If he checks... Okay, that's interesting.
I'm a sinner, but I pray.
That's interesting.
Oh God, I can't wait
That's interesting. Chidwick, of course. I mean, look, yeah, like I said, I felt like the question was more towards, you know, people who have been in poker a long time and are you know, known for that, are good for that, as opposed to let's just name people that are fucking great at poker. That is not a nice run out, is it, chat? That's not really cool for the $100. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that was not fucking cool at all. I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that was awful. That was a good game for us, but it was a pretty awful circumstance. Fucking straight up just sad. Hello, 10x multi. All right, 10 times the buy-in, chat. 25 big blind starting stack. This is a reg speed spinning go in its structure. $250 to play for here, chat. Let's do this. Seven deuce suited, noteworthy to avoid block betting turn in similar. Are you saying that we shouldn't block bet turn? I think that's like literally the textbook block bet spot, to be honest. But let's mark that for review. I actually think we're supposed to lead that flop with the 7 some of the time as well, just out of interest. We have. I can mark it for review. We'll take a look at it, but when the board pairs like that, I mean, that's exactly the kind of turn I think we want to be leading, to be honest. Spots where we can literally have a 6 and they're not really allowed to raise. I mean, we would do the same thing with a 6, so it's balanced, at least in my game. Top Bird asks, are you a fan of the player Kevin Vandermissen? Not aware of Mr. Vandermissen. I bumped into Johnny Chan at the River Rock Casino, literally bumped into him with my head down on my phone in an empty hotel lobby, shook his hand, walked, and talked with him for 60 seconds. That's pretty cool. Sorry, John. The cyborg. Right, we would love a jack on this turn, please. Oh, man. This game can be so cool when you just get there. Now, no funny business now. That is a pretty clean run. Oh, my God. We got the Queen 10, chat. The blast off with the ace deuce. He went for maximum. He has top pair, to be fair, by the way. That wasn't a criticism of the play. But getting all those chips in the middle there when we have the nuts feels fucking great.
Chase it all. Watch my rainy little circles slide across that field. Every chip a quiet promise.
Jack high for the win. Nice hand, sir. Boombox is right here, Erwin. We might be using it very shortly. I mean, I don't know if we should use it on this one, to be honest. We want to use it more sparingly these days, but let's try and win this one anyway. Too many outs. All right, so I think we're allowed to just flat the ace-9 here. I think also we could probably deter to a certain degree. Very rare spot. I meant all-round player, tournament cash, heads up. Yeah, I mean, look, and then also, I mean, players like Ivy then are really good in those situations, right? Because they are, you know, he's obviously known for playing a mix of everything. I'd say Barney might be more known for his tournaments, but I'm sure he's played Mountains of Cash in his day as well. Good question on the all-rounder, though. I think that would be an interesting question to put to the community. He couldn't beat an ace. That's true. But also, we probably don't end up having that many ace combos in that spot with the queen 10 anyway, mate. Like, I guess at that stack depth, we will have some aces that outkick him, too, though, so maybe. Not tons. Kahan Mockery. Kahan Mockery should have been at the top of my list. I love that guy. He's an absolute ledge. Double Five says leading is cool and block betting is fine as well, but if your opponent raises you on a card that hits you more, your strategy should change. Well, the whole point is that they're not really allowed to, right? They have to have a pretty strong hand to do that. They have to have like top pair plus to make that move, which they just won't have. A lot of players, even with overpairs, are gonna play that slower. There might be a sizing tilt. Not sure if you're always betting one big blind there. I think I'm always, well, personally, I'm probably always going to go for at least like a quarter pot. Kahan Mockery, of course. I mean, again, guys, I thought the question was to do with like people who have been in the game for a long time, not name people that you love in poker. Kahan Mockery and I haven't spent tons of time together, but he is a really cool guy to hang around with. He is legitimately kind of a legend. All right, chat. We are chip leading. We are chip leading a 10x multiplier. This might be a little boost that we need here. Might be the little boost that we've been looking for. To try and get things back on track. In an ideal world, we will not only win this game, but also all the chips. I mean, that Queen 10 spot is obviously really massive for us in terms of chips EV. If we could get another spot like that against King of Poker, will be well back on track because there's a lot of chips in this game compared to the smaller multipliers. He was my neighbor in Monte Carlo. That's funny. He is a legend. He is great to hang around with. He's a funny guy. So, all right, we have one of these spots, guys. This is just the straight large ISO. Just to double check my work there, I'm pretty sure that the 9-7 fits that category. This is going to be a steal. Let's mark the 9-7 suited there. Just out of interest, because I'm pretty sure that falls in that category there. Our large ISO. Chat just named half the roster. Perfect. Okay, can we cook this time? This is the move. This is the move. 11 big blinds in a dream. King 6 probably borderline push here against the reg. But we can chill out a little bit more in the 10x multi as well. Now, how much we want to chill out is it's a point for debates. Turn barrel. 10x multiplier, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. All right, we bet the turn. This works, right? Please don't have diamonds. We managed to get a good chunk there, though, guys. Pair and a diamond draw. And pocket tens. So against the reg, there's no limping here, guys. Anything 6 big blinds or less. Sorry, 5 big blinds or less. We have to play the push folds. 81% of the way there. Oh yeah, baby. Man, I really like winning big multis. That feels good. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about our record so far today, chat. We are off to a good start in the multiplier departments. We are off to a fantastic start in that department. Let's take a look at those numbers really quick. So, 10x multi 1 0 0. All right, so far, guys, we have played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10x multipliers. We have won 4 of those, and we've come second in 2. So we have yet to not cash a big multi. And winning 4 of the available 6 is really, really good. This still aligns with our experience from the 50K challenge, guys. So the 50K challenge, I tracked any multiplier that was a 10x multiplier or higher, and we won something like 51 or 60% of the 10x multipliers or higher that we played, which obviously is going to have a pretty meaningful impact on the overall challenge in the end. Again, maybe we're just running super hot, who knows. However, what I will say is there does seem to be a clear correlation to larger multipliers and our greater success, because that would make sense, right? We're supposed to be good at spin and goes. It's only since we've been forced to play more spin and go flash that we've been finding it difficult to make adjustments. But we're doing it. We're making it work. We're doing it. The 25 big blind king has returned. Mac, this is the problem. You let me play that. You let me play a 25x. And I'm not saying I win in that lineup often. Those are 2 really good spin and go players, right? And obviously I turned a straight against top pair. I'm not bragging in the slightest, right? I'm just saying that in these games, I just feel like there's so much more scope for me to really flex. Like, I feel like I actually have a much larger grasp on what's going on. Hey, what's up, Spin and Gold Academy? Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Nick Walsh here. We're playing Spin and Goes. Thank you for the good lucks today as well. Welcome. You guys just saw. Oh, I should have used the boombox, huh? You guys just missed it. I won a 10x multiplier. I just won the 250, and it was fun. I missed a value bet with King 4, possibly 005. We can mark that for review as well. That's going to be somewhat player dependent, right? It depends how often our opponents. If our opponent is the kind of player that always check raises diamonds, then I think that we probably are doing better by going for value. If our opponents is the kind of player who will have traps there, it gets a lot worse, right? I don't know. In reality, I think probably you're right, though. I'll mark that for review as well. Once we get to the turn, even if they are trapping diamonds, they probably want to check jam turn, so they end up not having that many diamonds. We're chopping against a lot of kings, and obviously we can still get called by 10x. I think you're probably right. 005, you're often right. I would say I mostly agree with your analysis. About 90% of the time. And thank you for keeping me honest as well. That sounds sour. I'm not being sour. I really appreciate your feedback. I like when I can challenge my thought process. Tony Tyson says, in the house all week. Congrats on the 10x. Thank you. Thank you, sir. What is it? Ace, deuce, ace, traitor folds. No, it's deuces. No, it's not that either. It is ace. It's those two, I think. Squeeze it up, baby. Princes. This guy likes to gamba, apparently. Oh, that's a huge pickup, guys. Picking up 4 big blinds when you start with 15 at non-showdown is massive EVs. Also, we shouldn't really be flatting in the small blind here at the stack dev. It's not really a thing. Okay, 2x multi. Play fast, play fast. Thank you for the raid again. I appreciate you guys. It's very kind of you. 2x multi. Play fast, play fast. I'm all in. All right, we hit a 10. Our opponent limp button, though. Do they have an ace sometimes? Sure, sometimes. Sometimes they have an ace, yeah, absolutely. We have a gut shot, though. We have a gut shot. We have a gut shot. We can't fold. It's impossible. 2 pair? Damn. There's a chance we can lead river there. Our opponent does have an ace after all. Maybe we should slow down and consider leading that river. Honestly, we missed a spot there, I think. Because we're too excited about the 10x multi. We're making mistakes where we could win more chips, and that's stupid. That is stupido. I'm all in. Spin and golds. Let me do the big one. My go-to. Trays, baby. 2 folds here is massive. 2 folds here is absolutely glorious. I'll take that. That's fine. He's a shorty anyway. Also, this is on inexcusable behavior, by the way. Is that the explosion from Command and Conquer? I hope it is. It's not intentionally from there. I got the animation from like a vector company that has where you can key out the background, and then I keyed out the background in Premiere, clipped it as an animated GIF, and then went from there. Come on, baby. We can run this guy over. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you, buddy. We can run this guy over. We can run him over. He's clearly playing a very snug game. Thank you for the follow. Donkey boosts. It's very kind of you. All right, let's sneak in with a limp this time. Cool. Saved ourselves some chips. That guy's definitely got a hand there. Oops. 10-8 is definitely going to be close against this guy. We're going to be a little bit tighter than usual. And then we're going to play it out like this. The fuck is his turn? What do you call the ace on the turn? I came to rake it in. Rake it in. All right, Brian, thanks for coming by. I do remember when Michael Adama was killing it. I don't know. I say that like he's not killing it now. I don't know. I don't follow in those circles too closely. By the way, I don't know about this label yet. I've got this label for some reason, but if I don't have notes, then I don't want it. in. Let's do this. Let's do this.
You ask if it changed me, I shrug and say some. Bills get paid on time now, but the past still hums. Money's just a jacket, keeps you warm till spring. It don't fix everything, but it sure helps things. Yeah, I rake it in, chip by chip, slow and thin. Didn't come here just to almost win. I came to rake it in.
Back on stack to the ceiling. Feels like love, feels like healing. Whoa! Big deal, O'Neal. Boom! It's the big deal official O'Neal. Big deal online. 12 months, 12-month streak. Thank you, buddy. It's been 12 months. Has it been 12 months since we properly started on this channel? I mean, last year is when we started really going on here, I think, right? Or was it the year before? God, my brain doesn't work. $10-8 into ace-10. Not really sure what else we're supposed to do here. It's definitely a push. It is definitely a push. Syntax says 08 was Nick celebrating his first anniversary here on Twitch already. I mean, the account would have been from years and years and years ago. That was my question, though. Was it last year or the year before we started to stream on here properly? Probably we can call if we want here. I feel like we can probably do it, but the fact it's multi-way changes things a bit. I'm not sure. Mark this one for review in a moment. Great fold. Confirmed genius fold. We'll make a little note on that one, though. That's interesting. It's a very, very specific dynamic there with the big stack being forced all in, basically, and my opponent shoving for an amount that we can call if we are heads up. Multi-way. Yeah, I think probably just default to a fold, but we'll think about it. I've been broke so long, feeling feels like work. I've been broke so long, when it feels like work. Just almost when I came to rake it in. Stack on stack to the feeling. Feels like love, feels like healing. 3 outs are enough to end fist. That's right. That's all we need, baby. All right. Heads up for all the jewels against Vin D, world class. Heads up, spin and go specialists. Vindy, world class, spin and go, end boss. Trapping fives, can you believe it? Oh, that was a good boombox. 80%? 80% for the boombox? And that is why, ladies and gents, we tramp the fives. That is why we like to tramp fives.
Change me, I shrug and say some. Bills get paid on time now, but the past still hums. Money's just a jacket, keeps you warm till spring. It don't fix everything, but it sure helps things. Yeah, I rake it in, chip by chip, slow and thin. Didn't come here just to almost win. I came to rake it in. Stack on stack to the ceiling. Feels like luck, feels like healing.
My ring is telling me to stretch my legs, chat. Oh! Look how healthy I am, everybody. I didn't mean like this region of me. I meant like in my actions. Thank you very much for the follow. I'm going to call you Taski. Double Five says PokerStars needs to add a one-click bet, e.g., you click 50% bet and it bets instantly. You can actually do that with Start Caption. That's how I'm accomplishing this. Sets the bet at 100%, sends the bets, and then I did some other fancy stuff to do all the explosions and stuff. After the reveal, that one deserves a couple more booms. How about this boom? Triple boomer! Triple boomer! You had it right. We needed more booms. Oh, that club was going to get me there, wasn't it? Exactly. Exactly. It's always nice when you got him dominated like that. Oh, okay. Against this guy, I'm going to play tighter than usual. King 6 suited can be a call there. But let's see if we can't make something work here against Felipe. Don't go leading at pots now, Felipe. Don't be a weirdo. Got me good. AK! No action. One pip is extra swag for sure. We can trap nines here. Can we get a boom? Thought we might get a little boomer there. All the way to the river. And we're going to value bet for a 5 or a 7 to pay us here. 5 or a 7 can easily call. Got it. Got it. We got called by Queen High here, guys. Queen Trey. Fair play. That's fair. And if we're getting called by Queen High, we're definitely getting paid by the pairs, right? Can we boom it up? No, see, we're doing it too much already. I get excited. We do it too much. Oh, getting a walk there is huge. Getting a walk there is absolutely massive. Yes, answer. Three big blinds. Oh, getting a walk again is huge. Don't know if this guy is just getting the bottom of the deck or what, but these are very, very, very high value folds for us, because at this stage in the tournament, it might only be like one big blind, but it's going to be worth quite a few chips. Again, that folds big. Got our guy down to 3/4 big blinds. McLaurin, what's up? I see you over on YouTube. Yeah, 7-4's got a call here. In fact, at we're at about 2.6. We need an ATC call. I mean 8, meaning literally 7 deuce. So easy peasy. Boom shakalaka indeed. That'll be a good game for us, guys.
Somebody told me God watches out for the working man.
King and a 10. Ronaldo, give us some action. Not too much action. I'd like to play those hands in position if we can. Top Bird is now a top clicker. 8 views. Have you been clipping, Top Bird? Let me see some of these clips.
Ooh, I put my last $10 in. This game's a game that I can't win. But if I fold, I'm in the win.
Top Bird says, would you ever consider Battle of the 50s lobbies? That guy, João Paulo, is apparently owning those lobbies. So I'm happy to play higher stakes, but we're just doing this specifically for the $25 challenge. So, don't know if you knew the history, Top Bird, excuse me, but I did play spins full-time up to the hundreds. That was a very different time, of course. That was a time where... Okay, we're obviously going to bluff River now. Yeah, wish me luck, guys. Nice. So I used to play up to the hundreds, but obviously that was reg speed, so that would have been lower variance. You know, generally speaking, every form of poker back then was much softer anyway. It could be that we do 50s next year, all year. I don't know. I would anticipate that the 50s and 100s are very, very tough, but I would say also the 25s from what we've seen so far have been particularly tough as well. I mean, a lot of really good regs here. If Zhao is up there and he's still playing 25s, then, you know, I definitely think that might be true. He was the runner-up for the Spin Championship, yeah. Right, let me for clips here. This is so hard. Ronaldo. Jack high like a boss. Jack high like a boss. Can we get a jack high call like a boss? Nice answer. Top Bird, I would say very, very tough, absolutely. Oh wow, getting a fold there is massive. Christy says, I'm a bit surprised you haven't heard of Kevin van der Missen. He's ninth in Belgium's all-time mini list. I mean, honestly, I would be surprised, Christy, if he is ninth on Belgium's all-time money list. I would be surprised if I haven't actually legitimately done commentary on him before. Like it's just my bad memory. I've got a really bad memory for names, to be honest. I actually had a conversation about this. When I was on a podcast on Tuesday. It is hilarious how poor my memory recall is when it comes to poker and stuff like that too. But as a commentator, you'd think that would be really awful. I work with a production team that is ridiculously good at getting every detail about the players that we do commentary on and providing that information. And also I sit next to James Hardigan, who is like the font of all wisdom when it comes to European poker tours. So if there was ever a chance for me to like try and like exercise that muscle, I think we're allowed to just jam here, but I am a bit... Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Live card? Nice. This is fine. Yeah, this is okay. So my apologies to Kevin. It's definitely nothing personal, and it's nothing to do with him or his accomplishments. But if there was ever an opportunity for me to flex that muscle, that memory muscle, and like actually make a concerted effort to be better at that, it's always shot down by the superior competence of my colleagues. All right, next game. I think the three bet jam is fine. It's problematic that he's min raising into a short stack, which means obviously he will have a slightly stronger range. The problem is that when they're that short, when they're like almost like one big blind or whatever it was or less, the min raise can be played basically as though we're heads up, and then the heads up move is to push. So I think the shove is fine. We lose some equity here, of course, in that spot, but it's not the end of the world in terms of... It's not the end of the world, basically, in terms of EV loss. It's not good. Don't get me wrong. Once we hit the 8 here, it's going to be tricky to fold. Limp spot, our opponent bets. I think we're going to trap check this river as well. See if we can catch a bluff here. Sometimes they'll call with a 5. Jack 10 obviously is just unlucky. Running into 10 tray also unlucky when we have the best hand all the way. Fairly annoying. Fairly annoying. Top Bird says, I think you need that product Mad Monk from Lex. I've never tried it. I'm not particularly good with caffeine. Like I would say I fall into the sort of caffeine sensitivity category. I definitely feel like I have a caffeine sensitivity, but I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's like sometimes I can drink coffee all day and I feel great. Sometimes I can drink tea all day, any day, and I feel great. Come on, Trey, get to showdown. Okay, so this is a bit odd. So unless he's trapping, I mean, we're going to win here a lot of the time. We're blocking the straight as well. This could be a 10, could be an ace. Feels like this could be a lot of bluffs, though. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. I've never tried Mad Monk, though. It actually might be a good shout. Vandermissen's last CPT main event cash was 2013, so that would have been before me. No live tournament cash since 2015. Okay, well that would probably add up as well, because like I was saying earlier, I'm not I've never followed poker. Yeah, we can't fold, guys. This is a 9. It's a 9. I don't think we can fold. We have a lot of backdoor straight draw, flush draw. All right. Give him the money. You win. So fucking annoying. So problematic. I mean, we're betting for value, obviously, on the flop. When he ends up jamming, he's going to have diamonds. He's going to have straight draws. He's going to have strong 6. Well, he's going to have 6x if anybody. Sometimes they just have a 4. Can't fold. Won't fold. I'm going to mark this for review out of interest, because I'm assuming bet and then calling a jam is honestly not the worst thing for us in this spot. The GTO output will not really accurately reflect real life, though, of course. Like I said, people will play that spot very differently in real life. Topper says, I hear you. I get anxiety from coffee. Yes. And it's been a long time, but there was a time a few years back. I'm trying to remember when it was worse, but for a little while, I had a pretty bad anxiety disorder. I say pretty bad. I'm softening the blow. It was horrendous. And ever since then, stuff like that does have a tendency to trigger anxiety. It's much, much better than it was now. Like 100, I would say like 1,000% better than it was. But coffee, for some reason, triggers anxiety. I can drink tea, and even though tea is caffeinated, I actually don't have anywhere near the same response. For some reason, coffee has a particularly sort of stimulating effect, where tea is more of like a gentle lift. I prefer cold shower, splashing water on my face. I love cold exposure. I genuinely just like the taste of coffee. Like, if I'm having a coffee, it's because I'm enjoying coffee, not because I'm trying to like stimulate. You know, like I'm gonna stay awake all night. I don't have that. I don't do it for that reason. No, Christy, that's the thing. Like I said, I've been a poker fanboy forever, as in I'm a fan of poker. I have not been somebody that watched hours and hours and hours of poker content, like, you know, back in the day. Yeah, the 7-5 push here is good. But, yeah, the cold exposure thing was great for, was really good for me to come out of that anxiety sort of spiral that I had for a little while. Cold water exposure, breath work. I did and I still do the Wim Hof method breathing. Boomer Zoomer Ed. I'm all in. Yeah, 005. I was about to say, I think the 8s with the 8 of diamonds in particular, having the 8 of diamonds there will have an impact. But we'll take a look. I mean, I don't know. It's having the pair, having second pair when the board is having second pair when the board is having second pair when the, like, if it's 8-5 deuce and you have the pair between the 5 and the 8, like it's a very different prospect when you have the pair in your hand versus having second pair. I would say it's probable that second pair on that board wants to bet very often when it's not a pair in your hand. I would say 8s is just, you just end up getting like so much, I think you just end up having like so much value basically, because then obviously you're getting called by all the other second pairs and stuff. Tray of hearts. Wow, okay, small giant, interesting. All right. So if I knew this guy better, we would still continue here. Against the unknown player, we're going to have to fold, though, until we have more info on this individual. Wow. Okay, what are we doing now? This is wild. Okay, we should have looked at our notes here as well. Even more reason for us to fold there. Having the 8 of diamonds means our opponents have fewer draws to call us with, though, which obviously is not ideal for betting there. All right, we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. I don't think our opponent has a 10. I do think that they can have high cards and they can have 7x. So I think we're going to go for more here. All right, we're punting over here, ladies and gentlemen. My guy is going mad. My friend is going extremely mad. 10-5 is wider than usual limp against this player, specifically for that adjustments. Ace-10, let's go. Ooh, actually, ace-10 can be like this. That's good. And 8K. Jack with a deuce. Ace with a 9. Can we run him over here? Yes, this is a push. Lovely, running straight into it. 7. Yep, nice hand, buddy. Good trap. The 8-7 push is going to be GTO, though. Once we get to 8 big blinds, 7 big blinds, it's a thing. Let's just mark it for review and carry on. Probably a couple more games today, guys. Couple more games today. Johnny Abati. One of my faves. McLaurin, what's up? What's top tier spin ROI in the Canadian Euro pool of players? It's a good question, mate. It depends, obviously, what stakes you're playing. It also depends which tier of chess that you have. I would say probably at the 25s if I can win. If I can win between like 1 and 2%. I would say 2%, maybe a little bit more would be fantastic. You know, when you say that out loud, also it sounds kind of horrific, but of course we're playing an even more hyper version of hyper spinning goes than we did previously. And of course that also means that the speed of the game increases too. So if you can accomplish 1%, 2%, you're playing like a lot more games to compensate as well. Stupid run out here. King high might still be good. Stupid run out. Gianni Abati. Oh, this is such a fucking tilt run out.
Ooh, I put my last $10 in. This game's a game that I can't win. But if I fold, I'm in the win.
Yeah, but then also, if your question is to do with Ontario, Ontario is different from Canada. You know, that's a separate player pool. Sorry, McLaurin was asking that different question.
But if you fold your cards, that's okay. And if you win it, I hope it makes you happy.
Gianni Abati.
Ooh, and if you don't have to tell me. Ooh, chips in the middle, it's a shame the world's so brittle, but all it takes is one more shuffle. All it takes is one more shuffle. Ooh, you're the dealer now.
Gianni Abati.
When you said it so proud. Oh, babe, your cards are all face down. I don't think it's right to ask you not to play. But if you fold your cards, that's okay. And if you win it, I hope it makes you happy. Ooh, and if you don't have to tell me. Ooh, chips in the middle, it's a shame the world's so brittle, but all it takes is one more.
Christy's asking about Sibe. So I don't know if you're asking because you knew this, but Sibe was originally a member of the OP Poker community. So when I started streaming way back in the day, I suppose that would have been 2018, 2017, 2019, something like that. When I started streaming, Sibe was a member of that community, and I think if I remember correctly, wasn't that involved with poker at the time. Certainly a poker player. Certainly in the community as somebody that enjoyed poker, and then since then went really heavy into the spins, like, you know, very heavily into the spins. As far as I know, became a very accomplished player. I was certainly asking Sibe for advice in certain spots. Yeah, right. But, you know, I haven't really stayed in touch with him too much, Christy. Me and Sibe and the entire crew used to spend a lot of time together back in the day, but now don't speak to him. Not for any particular reason, just fell out of touch a little bit. I'm sure I've still got him on Discord, though, if I wanted to drop him a message, see how he's doing. but as far as I know, climbed the ranks very effectively, ended up playing pretty high stakes, played a lot of volume. I could be doing Sibe a bit of an injustice here as well. I don't recall sort of, how much he was playing sort of when he became a member of our team. But if I remember correctly, he was somebody that was very keen on poker and then ended up taking it very seriously after in the years that followed. I was curious because a pro I respect on my Discord was showing us stats of 7% in... Okay, yeah. All right, Queen Deuce. Yeah, Christy, exactly. Yeah, top grinder. I don't have any. I've only got good things to say about Sibe. Good old Siba. I will call a river bet here. Potentially a value bet. Nice. Yeah. 7. Nice hand. Pretty clean push there. I think we can do some limping with ace-8 as well. It'd be a mix, but obviously not that concerned about it. It's going to be a good spot for us usually. All right, we'll do some review later on, of course, guys. We have a couple hands for review. A lot of it is just pre-flop stuff, but we did highlight a couple interesting spots that cropped up today that a couple people have requested, and we will cover those. So since we have a couple, we'll probably play a couple more and a couple more games and then fire those up before the top of the hour. I am starving. I did not... didn't get a chance to have a bite before stream today. I was too busy. Something keeps beeping in the kitchen. I don't understand what it is. This is interesting. I think I need to do more work on these spots in general. Topper says, "Are there any guys you worked with in poker where you were extremely excited about, like Tomo?" I mean, pretty much everybody that I've worked with who was, you know, a player or a content creator or like part of the production team for European Poker Tour and stuff like that. Like, my entire career has been one massive like luck box, basically. I feel incredibly blessed, incredibly grateful to have worked with so many talented, incredible people, funny, intelligent, wicked poker players, great content creators, very talented, production team and stuff like that. Like I said before, I've never been a massive fanboy of individual players. Like, I have a lot of respect for certain players, and Texas Tomo definitely fits that bill, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to potentially working more with him this year, in particular once I figure out what's going on with my content plan, which is in the works. But yeah, I mean, look, it's my entire career as a content creator for poker has just been blessed. Like, get to work with all kinds of cool people. Like, really excited to work with all sorts. Tomo's a legend anyway. He's like a super sweet guy. He's like a really, really nice, kind soul. Very good teacher. Top grinder. I went from I was playing poker full time. A lot of people don't recognize that I was a proper professional poker player for a spell, because a lot of people just assume if they can't find you on Handed Mob and you don't have $1 million next to your name that you're not a pro. But I was never a tournament player. I never focused on that. There was probably a stretch of a few months where I kind of gave it a go for a little while, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to be for me full time. Like, I'll always play tournaments. I think tournaments are cool. Winning a tournament is probably one of the best feelings in poker. But I was always a cash game player, and then I was always a sit-and-go player. And during that time, I was playing full-time for a good couple of years. And then when I transitioned into becoming a content creator, a lot of the sort of aspiration to my aspirations kind of shifted, right, away from playing more poker into creating more content and becoming a commentator and all the good stuff that happened after that. But pretty much worked super hard to get noticed, put in a lot of time creating content, got spotted, and ever since then I've been running super hot in that arena. You know what I mean? Very lucky to have the opportunities that I've been given, and very grateful to the people that gave them to me. And yeah, every time I've had a chance to do something bigger and better, or work with new people that you would recognize, or people you wouldn't recognize who have been very influential in the creation of some of the most important poker content like ever, it's been awesome.
Somebody told me God watches out for
Oh man, can't lose. It's impossible.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's and also, like, Top Bird, I have a like, I have a lot of imposter syndrome because the way that I came up in poker is quite unconventional. It's only now that spin and go players are actually getting their own championship and stuff like that. Obviously, there is no. I mean, I'm going to say there is no cash game world championship. There definitely is, and I'm sure that's an actual title that's been used. But you get what I'm saying. Oh, hello, 10x multiplier. But the mix between being able to play now and being a content creator and also an ambassador and all that stuff is really special. Yeah, I feel super blessed, and like anytime that I feel like I'm running bad, I think about how lucky I've been to even be given that opportunity, because there's a lot of people who are, there's loads of people I know who are very qualified, probably even overqualified for the job that I do. Yeah, just gotta be grateful. I'm not gonna waste a big blind here. That guy's not folding an 8 anyway. Alright, so let's play this one slow. This time I'm randomizing these, by the way. It's 5 at the king. I think I'd be stoked to work with the jacks of PokerStars, Joe and James. Very good. Yeah, I mean, working with James and Joe, I think, was like super mind blown. Right, big raise and potentially going broke here. We have a 100% strike rate with the spins so far, guys. We have not failed to cash a single 10x multi that we've played. Yeah, good point. I'll focus up here. All right, so 8, 9 of spades. Let's play this one here. Prince. Timotex. Okay, once we hit the 8, we can do a little bit of this. Then maybe a little bit of this. That is a very unlucky run out for us. We lose the minimum, though, really. Probably he could have found a raise there some of the time. And the value bet on the turn, truly inspired poker there. No, you're not distracting me, mate. We're on a live stream. I'm supposed to talk to you, buddy. It's all good. It's all good, dude. All right, pocket fives. We are going to be calling an all-in if we do get forced in here, at least against the reg. Against this player, we might consider doing something else, but it's 4s plus. We have to follow the rules. Just because it's a 10x, we need to continue doing what we got to do and hopefully hold. Ah! I said hopefully hold. Why on the river? Nice hand. All right, cool. So really quick, we got another 10x multi to note down. This is the first time we have failed to cash the 10x multi. First zero. But yeah, fair play. I think the shove is fine, and of course the call is textbook. But there we go. Felipe Fixer, I think so. I think so. I feel like something popped up on YouTube the other day. I think he might be focusing on different formats now, though. I saw a random video. I think it was for 5-card PLO, something like that, which is a pretty exciting arena of poker if you can get the games. Hello, Pie Face Poker. What's up, mates? Good to see you, buddy. We missed you over New Year's this year, bud. How was your New Year's? First year in a while we hadn't seen you. To be fair, we ended up doing something quite different this year. I feel one day you'll hit the jackpot on stream. That would be legendary. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to win another one, mate. I mean, to be fair, I didn't win the other one, but I did actually hit a big boy one before. The biggest boy one there is at that stake at the time. Christy says, after losing a 10x on the river, I think I'd go straight to a good pint of alcohol. A whole pint of alcohol. A whole mega pints. So Alex in the house hasn't bluffed yet and hasn't value bet yet. I am actually going to do something outrageous. I'm going to go for value on this river. He's got a 4. Alex has a 4. Alex actually has a 4. Nah, we got a king high call, though. That works. That was a cheeky value bet, though, eh? Hey, chat. Hey, chat. All right, let's see if we can close this up here. Do this one instead. 8-9 of spades can't lose. It's too pretty. It's way too pretty. What the? What do you call that? All right, we're gonna finish up this game and then we'll do some reviews, guys. Pi says, I stayed in my hometown New Year's, just went to my local pub. And how much do you regret that now? Superb production. You like that, eh? I'll be aiming for 10K games in 4 weeks on Stars this month, bro. Woo! I mean, that's our target for the whole year this year. But obviously, we're doing something a little different, combining it with the content. Alex in the house. Alex in the house. Max value. Blinds are up. 10.3 big blinds. Hey, no problem, Topper. It was a pleasure having you here, mate. I'll see you in the next one. See you again, mon frere. 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, double gutty. The double gut shotaroo. I'm running like God. Don't slow me down. Trap the ace king. Oh, great flop here. Fantastic flop. Ace king for the win. Might even bluff this river. Let's do this. Let's bluff the river here. I do not want a 6 or a deuce or a 5 to get to showdown. Hey, McLaurin, thank you very much for the follow over here on Twitch as well as YouTube. I appreciate you, dude. Very kind. Jack 10 suited is a call versus the reg, but are we going to get there? Why do we run like that? We're never folding there, of course. Against the reg, we got to spin. All right, little back and forth here. Can we get a straight, please? Yes, the spades are also good. Yeah, the weather's been trash today, Nettie, all day long. Weather has not been polite to us at all. Ace 4, baby. Let's go. Can we get a boombox to finish the stream? All right. And let's go to Tesco. Let's go to Tesco. Please don't rob us again. Don't want to get robbed again. Don't want to get robbed again. Thank you very much. Come on now, pocket eights. Do me a favor. Why does he get the pocket eights in the calling hand, huh? Why does he get eights paid? Why do we have the calling hand and he has the folding hand, huh? All right, so let's take a look at today in chips. All right, so today we managed to win a little bit of EVs. Towards the end there, we started to really bomb. Including the loss of a 10x. The first time we have failed to cash a 10x out of 7 games, I believe. And there we go. So, progress of some variety. We were unfortunately kind of making up for lost time, however, because this year we have been taking a bit of a beating here. We got up to a flyer, and then we kind of started bombing, and now we're sort of coming back up. Overall, we are down $281, it would seem. Obviously, this is majority 25s, guys. I haven't filtered this quite right. 7.4 chips per game. Definitely not good enough. And I don't believe an accurate portrayal of our overall true Chippy V. Just a small sample, less than 1,000 games. We need to play a lot more before this will really mean anything. But we're putting in the work. That's what's important. So let's do some review really quick. I'm going to close up PokerStars. So just to be crystal clear, PokerStars is no longer open. We are not on PokerStars. We're not playing on PokerStars. We're going to do a study session, which we're going to do separately. Right, 9-5 suited. This is from the very start, guys. So, yeah, just out of interest, I mean, this is going to be a call, obviously, like I said before. Basically, this is a spot where I think the math is just going to say yes. This should just be a Nash lookup, right? We should just be able to open up our Nash equilibrium and go from there, right? One sec, sorry guys. So, I haven't looked yet. I'm pretty sure 9 tray suited is a call at 5-ish big blinds. 9 tray. Is it 9 tray? 9-5. Sorry, 9-5, excuse me. 9-5 is a call exactly at 5 big blinds effective, right? So the answer is probably yes, it is a call, but that's not really what I'm trying to figure out. What I'm trying to figure out is there any adjustment away from Nash from a GTO perspective, or do we just follow it at the stack depth straight up? Let's do it. Yeah, so the fold is a blunder as expected. That's not a surprise. What I want to see is how close we are going to call here. This isn't even the correct solve because we were deeper than this. We were actually starting at. No, this is close enough. Never mind. So all in here, blind v blind. Obviously, is there anything that is unusual? So if we compare this to this, we're calling this at 4. So all the jacks, 10-5 off is, so this actually comes out despite this being specifically 4. So we are taking out the break evens. Basically, we're only calling with the pluses. The plus EV spots. 8-6 off, so this one even comes out. So actually they are taking out some of the very, very near misses. So 6-7 is obviously break even. This one is break even. So they're taking out everything up to this point. That's really interesting. So this is kind of the reason why we're looking this up in the first place. So 5-3 suited, for example, that one comes out even though technically being a call. 4-3 suited is too far out. Are they doing the same with 9-3 suited then? No, 9-3 suited still sneaks in here. This does actually end up having better high cards anyway. So, look, end of the day, we kind of knew it was a call in the moment. After the hand, we've marked it specifically for that reason because we know we probably shouldn't be missing this. Against unknown players, are they going to be much wider? Like, ask yourself, is an unknown player going to shove 5-3 suited? And that does make a difference. There are a category of very passive player who do not know that you should be shoving this wide, and that will impact on our calling range significantly. In order to find out how much wider, though, we're going to have to do some node locking, which we're not set up to do right now. So, yep, obviously, like I said, I was almost positive this was a call, but there we go. Dreaming Silver, thank you very much for the sub. Very, very kind. Appreciate you, dude. You thought I was from Hull. I have an American accent. Who are the most aggressive? Oh, I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. We got a couple players marked in red. If you ever spot that, it's because we think that they're particularly aggro. But that's not to say that some players in blue, in yellow aren't, or green, or whatever color that is. Yeah, there's a lot of good regs at the 25s. That's certainly true. All right, cool. Next hand, limp and a jam. I'm pretty sure this is textbook. Let's just take a look at the 10 big blind spot. We can look at the Nick Walsh TV chart pack. If you guys want access to this, go and check it out on my website. I sell this, and basically it's a one-time purchase, lifetime access situation. Big blind versus limp, add 10 big blinds effective. 5-4 suited, 100% push, and then we start to get into the larger ISO sizes once we get 6, 7, 8, 7, 7, 9 suited, which is another one that we'll look up in just a moment because that did crop up. We got trapped, but that was still a push. Good stuff. So this is one that Calvin was asking about, and this is a spot that I think I was massively over defending. We have a really good price, and generally speaking, when we have suited hands, we want to call because we have a good price to continue when there's 6 big blinds dead. I'm pretty sure we're taking out some of our worst suited combos. And just for the sake of completeness, let's fire this one up in GTO Wiz. Yeah, so it looks like we're getting pretty close. And we are thinking along the right lines here, but maybe we're pulling from the wrong combo. So 4 deuce of clubs apparently is fine. What we're encountering here is the most disconnected are coming out. So we're thinking along the right lines. The fold is actually considered okay. If it's this close in a GTO environment, however, we do probably want to always call because the flatting range is going to be broken here. So our opponents aren't really supposed to have any calls here. So in reality, looking at this and thinking that this is accurate is probably a complete fallacy. Like, our opponents are not flatting this range, right? They're flatting Jack 10 off and Queen 10 off and King 9 off and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as their range becomes wider than 9-10 suited Jack, these kinds of combos, pocket fours in particular, that's hilarious. Nobody's doing this. Nobody is flatting here. And if they are, they're doing it wrong, right? So this range is basically completely broken. This is probably another straight node lock. Defaulting to defending most of our suited hands here, I think, is probably the correct thing to do. These hands definitely struggle. So I would say if there's any semblance of connectivity, or we have a decent size flush draw, you know, Jack high plus, 10 high plus, I think we're probably just going to call here more often. So again, this is a spot where GTO falls down. Everyone thinks it's easy. You just got to find the answer. Everyone's RTAing. You can't RTA these spots. It's not a thing. And very, very, very often, the people that are assuming that you can just look these spots up and they're correct are wrong so often. So for this reason, like I said, like I said to Calvin, I knew that we wanted to be a little bit tighter here. It did feel pretty painful folding this combo specifically, just because it does feel like you can flop pretty hard if you're very lucky. When you have a great price and then giving up a lot on the flop. So for that reason, we're gonna want to call here, but we do have the right idea. We're just taking the folds from the wrong places. All right, so done. Christy, if I'm using color, I'm actually colorblind. Not like I see black and white, but the bright color is, I think they're a reg. The blue color is they've done something unusual that we want to keep an eye on, and sometimes that will also mean rec when it's confirmed because they did lots of crazy stuff. Red, which is a color I see clearly, it usually means particularly aggressive, but like the color coding system is loose. So if you see orange, orange means friend of the stream, sorry. Calvin is watching. All right, nice. Felipe says Immo folding 40 suited might be better because the button is a reg opening to 13 bigs. So that depends, Felipe. If they're a reg and they're opening off 13, theoretically that means they should skew towards still having a relatively balanced range. The thing about 40 suited is we're not because there was a call in the small blind and we're acting where there's so much dead money. It's kind of just about how often are we going to flop enough equity to go broke, right? So unless you have a note that player is always like push folding 13 bigs or less on the button multi-way, and then they only ever min raise with aces and stuff, like I don't know. It seems like we probably do fine still. Like my instinct says it's cool. All right, so just going to double check the push here. We are in a very specific situation. Both players are there's a 5 big blind stack and a 4 big blind stack over here or thereabouts. I'm pretty sure this is a push. I just want to double check my work. Queen 10's a slam dunk. Queen 9's got to go. Queen 9's good. Fine. Easy peasy pre-flop. All right, so this one came up earlier. This is a really interesting one. So we've limped, our opponent checks, and we flop trips. Betting this flop is probably going to be fine. You're never going to do bad betting here. The problem is that I very frequently find myself checking on these boards with high cards, and if I want to balance that, that means I do actually have to do some checking when I have a 6 myself. So we've checked. On the turn, we're betting big because, of course, now we're trying to get value from the straight draws, the flush draws, the queen X, the 5X. There's probably some hands that we could do this with as a semi-bluff and sometimes just complete air if our opponent hasn't... like on this flop, if we have like 3-4 or something like that, I suppose that is more of a semi-bluff. There are a lot of disconnected hands we can check this flop with and then turn our hand into a bluff, right? So anyway, here we go. When the board runs out like this and our opponent checks to us, I have a very strong inkling here. I have a very strong feeling. I don't anticipate this is how they play a queen that often. I don't know if we get that much value from a 5 if we bet. Our opponent can still have a 6. It's very unlikely. We're not just going to list things that are scary that beat us here. We're not just going to give him pocket queens because that's a good hand. But our opponent can have a 6 that outkicks us. More importantly, I think the spades are going to be an issue. If your opponent has a sufficiently large flush draw, like in particular if it's jack high or king high, very often they are going to feel good about checking on the turn because they have some sort of showdown, but they also have a good draw. And then when they get to the river that's an ace, they're anticipating us to barrel as a bluff often, and also for us to just blast off into the spades. So like I said, I don't think betting a 6 here is ever going to be terrible, but I had a very specific feeling, and we goes check, and our opponent has the boat. Let's take a look at this from a GTO perspective because I'm very interested to see how many of those sort of assumptions are correct. And, you know, how often are we supposed to check this flop? You know, I think there is probably some checking with the 6. If we're supposed to check with, like, jack high, queen high, king high, then I think we probably do want to check when we're very strong as well, especially when it's this flop and it's rainbow. Obviously, on the flushing boards, we want to do some slightly more betting, of course. So I'm not interested in the output, like giving me double tick here, but I am interested in how the rest of the street plays. Okay, so basically, as anticipated, check flop is a thing. We'll take a look at that in a sec. They prefer us to bet 1 big blind on the turn, but we bet 2. Again, that's not going to be an issue. I think that's totally fine. On the river, they want us to bet 100%, and I'm not surprised by this at all, right? We have a super strong hand. Our opponent has played their hand quite unconventionally, but the human instinct takes over in this situation, and suddenly we're getting these right, and that's what's important to remember. Again, this is not everyone's so scared about solvers and all that shit, right? But ultimately, there will be many situations, especially in circumstances where we've seen more of the hand, where there is human input. We will have a better insight very often on what to do in these situations. On a different day, I might just bet this river. I just had a specific feeling, right? So, checking on this board. Let's take a look at how often we're supposed to check here. So, if we have a 6, obviously we want to do a lot of betting generally. So these are all 6s. I think it is true to say if we have 6-5, we want to do a lot of checking. Obviously, we have too much. We're not going to get paid at all, anywhere near enough if we're betting 6-5 on this board. 6s are the same. That's quads. So in essence, there is a good amount of checking here. A good amount of betting, excuse me, with some checking. And it looks like if you do want to check, it's coming from some of the weakest hands that we have, right? So we're thinking along the right lines. And, like I said, if I'm somebody who's playing against me, I do check these boards often, and in order to remain balanced for my specific style in my game, it does make sense for me to check this more often because I am probably more prone to having weaker hands on these textures. Once we get to the point where we're on the turn, though, this is where it starts to get interesting. So let's assume we just think the computer is a genius, and let's assume that we just want to mirror what the computer does. The problem is if you jump straight to the river and you assume that we always bet 100% of the time because that's what the computer says, we're ignoring what happened on previous streets. So once we've decided to bet, let's just say we did bet 2 big blinds on the turn. What is our opponent supposed to do? So first of all, what does our opponent do when we check this flop? If they have 6-5, they're going to do more checking. That's understandable. There is some betting here, but you can see a fair amount of our 6s want to start doing something aggressive. So Queen 6, Jack 6, 10 6, all these combinations want to start picking up the pace. So it's very unusual for opponents to not already have adjusted how this hand was played. So once our opponent checks on this turn, the amount of 6s they have diminishes greatly. 6-5 is a very specific one. That's a check. That makes sense, right? But let's say that our opponent has a not 6-5. They want to be betting a lot of the time, right? And so under these circumstances, we can't just jump over here because, again, there's a lot of other things that are going differently. Once we have bet 2 big blinds on this turn, what's the response with the 6s? So 9-6 that checked wants to raise. 10-6 that checks wants to raise. So you kind of see why all of a sudden, your opponent's having these combinations just diminishes greatly, right? 6-5, again, is a different story. I'm not talking about how my opponent played the hand, but there's a lot that goes into it. So once we arrive here, we need to be very careful with how we proceed. So anyway, once we get to the river, there's a bet, and then a check, and then small blind has 6 in a tray. So, some betting, some checking. Some betting, some checking. Having the hearts here is relevant for some reason. 6-7 actually just wants to straight check, like most of the time. So, we are definitely touching on something quite specific here. And definitely our feelings seem to be mirrored in what GTO is saying, right? If 6-7 is almost 100% check on this river, having the 6 of spades obviously makes a pretty considerable difference as well. But yeah, we're thinking along the right lines here. This is good. This is cool. It's just not a very good spot for us, is it really? That river, I mean. Otherwise, obviously, we're going to go for value. All right, so really quick, this will be the pre-flop spot. So I timed out. I actually wanted to double check if I'm supposed to large ISO this one. This is an easy one to look up in the NickWalshTV chart pack, so we can do 9 or 10 big blinds effective here. So again, images, heads up in the big blind. We want to include the advanced edition because we want to see what the large ISO is. Versus limp at 9 big blinds effective. Jack 9 offsuit is going to be a partial large ISO. The same goes again for 10. So we are thinking along the right lines. We timed out. I was going to do a big ISO, but we did get that one right in our head. Calvin is asking, should he have led small in the river? Good question. So going back to this one. 6-5 off. There looks like there is some, but the check is going to be you know, you're basically, you have so much of this board. You want your opponent to continue value betting a queen, value bet spades, value bet an ace, continue bluffing. So no, 6-5 has some leading, but it's mostly check. I would say just defaulting to that is good. When your opponent bets 2 big blinds in the turn, though, as well, they do suddenly have some really good hands. So that makes sense. All right, Queen 8 of hearts, there's a limp, and then there's a big raise. So I'm just double-checking my work here. We can look at this one in the NWTV chart pack as well. We're looking at around 10 or 11 effective. Again, it has to be the advanced edition because this is what includes the dynamic ISO size ranges. Images, heads up advanced in the small blind, facing an ISO not all in. This time we're looking at the large ISO though. So this was 3.5. Queen 8 suited is a call. This isn't quite the right sizing because our sizing is actually a little bit more particular, which is something I've intentionally done to deviate from the GTO simplification because I think this is superior. But if we look at this spot, that is the correct call. Let's say we go up one more size. Let's go to 11. I'm assuming it's going to be the same here. It's a bit of a mix. Queen 8 suited does sort of start to become kind of a value shove against the range, but is still a call. And then if we go in the other direction, guys, down to 9, we're going to see Queen 8 suited does start to sneak into jam. So we are right on the cusp. It looks like 9.5 will have us somewhere in the middle. There's even some calling here at 9 as well. What we want to understand is once our opponent makes that big ISO, if they are doing it correctly, which regs will, we take our value and we push, and we take our more marginal hands that have, you know, good playability, and we call, as you can see here. So Queen 8 suited, I paused it during the moment. Like I said, it felt like it was going to be a close one, but the important thing is we're not folding. And then as played, we end up getting it in against King Jack here again. This is textbook from the KJ. That's fine. Sorry, guys. Okay, King Jack of spades. Raise to 2 and a call. And I just want to check on how we're supposed to play. I actually think we're supposed to bet bigger on this flop. We bet 1, our opponent calls. We bet 2, our opponent calls. And then we shove. So what's interesting here is at this stack depth, I think we've missed a trick on the flop right off the bat. Our opponents will basically not have a 3 or a 4 that often. The 8 is kind of a thing, but we still have backdoor spades. I think we're supposed to bet bigger on this flop, but let's take a look at the post flop. Because we might have fudged this one. What ended up happening, by the way, guys, is we bet small, we turned to king, we value bet, and then we shoved the river for value, and he had 10-9 of hearts. But whatever. Okay, so first of all, raise to 2, 100% correct. There is some checking, there is some betting, so the flop seems fine. On the turn, they want us to bet much bigger, so it looks like the king is a good card for us to go larger. Or we bet small. So let's just run, let's take a look at the whole hand and let's see if we can learn something. So on the flop, small blind acts first. So there is bet 3. Bet 3 is a thing. For some reason, King Jack wants to do more bet 2. Or bet 1.5 or bet 1. Okay, so like we're betting. Bet 3 is not something that happens as often. I would imagine it's not a bad size to have bluffs, though. I mean, the most frequent bet 3 is going to be like ace 4, 10-5 suited. This seems like a pretty good candidate as well when we're blocking like the 10-8 calls and stuff like that as well. It's not really to do with the suits here. 9-5 is another good example. So look, this is definitely a good size. Bet 2 is going to be kind of equally as effective, and that actually fills up quite a lot here. So, you know, bet 1 is a thing. It happens with King Jack of spades, but I do think the bet bigger is going to do better against people. So let's say we decide to bet 2 instead. Let's go with B1. So we B1, call, and then King Jack on this turn basically just wants to bet way bigger. So the bet 1, we decided to bet 2. If we were to bet 1, that's not a thing with King Jack. Not a thing. Bet 4. We're just supposed to bet much bigger when we turn the king here. This is going to be a symptom of our opponent's range, obviously, right? Like, we are going to have opponents who have king highs that float flop where we dominate them now. We are trying to get max value from some of the more speculative draws, I suppose, too. So there's not really a way to check the river action based on this line. Let's say that we do decide to bet 2. Our opponent calls. Turn was the king of hearts. And now King Jack is going to probably want to do the same. Yeah, so we can't really check up on the river. I think it's safe to assume three-barreling with King Jack was the correct thing to do, though. I'm not worried about that part. I just wanted to learn about the flop a bit more. Hi, Tom. All good, mate. All good. So there's a limp. We have 7 deuce. We check. Yeah, I think we're supposed to lead this flop. I think we're just supposed to lead here, but I mean the check is never going to be wrong. Question is, what else can we do here? Okay, no, double tick. On the flop there will be some lead though, right? Yeah, there is a little bit. It's not enough to actually really think about those. So on this flop, the natural leads are like 8-7, 6-7, 5-7, I think. So yeah, I mean, even then, they don't really want to even do it that often, right? Okay, cool. Because we are up and down, this is slightly different from the other spots that we've been looking at. So the lead thing is not as much of a thing. 9-4 of diamonds apparently wants to, because, like, lol. Okay, so fine. We decide to check. Our opponent bets. We call. Ah, okay, one second. So this is the spot. Sorry, this is what we were talking about. So I think it was 005 who was questioning this one. So there's a lead, a bet and a call. And I decided to lead the turn. This is why we pulled this one up. So it wasn't to do with the flop, it was to do with the turn. So I said that I think this is basically like a spot we want to have tons of leads. And that's why we're double checking this one. So again, if we look at the turn action, we're leading 59.2% of the time with the combination that we have here. And then when there's an all-in, we're folding 100%. So that's fine, but this is interesting. So once we arrive on the 6th turn, that's why we want to look at it. We are going to do a lot of leading on the 6, I would imagine, right? Pot is now 5 big blinds. Lead 1 48.5% of the time and 18.2% of the time as well. We're going to go for actually even larger than that. We're going to do that with all of our 6s. Yeah, cool. This is kind of what we'd imagine. Tons of our 6s. We're going to do that with some of the 7s as well, especially the 7s that want to see a cheap card. This is going to be a mix between B1, B2. Defaulting to B1 I think is interesting. In all honesty, probably what I should do is just click the quarter pot button here. That would be more generic, and that puts us somewhere between. But yeah, this is one of the interesting ones we meant to look up for that reason, and the lead does exist very, very, very aggressively with all sorts of showdown. 7-5 is still doing this. 9-5 is still doing this. Jack 5 is still doing this. This is just a good spot to lead because we can get more value and we can also slow the action considerably. But this was the correct lead, basically, is the point. So that's actually a really nice spot for us in the end. Apart from getting jammed on, of course. All right, so here we go for the large ISO. We're just double checking our work. This is 15 big blinds effective exactly. We're looking at the heads-up advanced. We're looking at big blind versus limp at 15, and I'm pretty sure 9-7 suited slots nicely into our large ISO category. 9-7 suited at some frequency, about 50% is going to go for the 5x ISO, same as these nice connectors that we kind of always remember. Those are easy to remember, those ones. So that is another good one, textbook stuff. King 4, we limp. I think we're limping this one. We can actually shove this some of the time too. So this is an interesting spot. We start betting on the flop. Our opponent just flats. Now our opponent is not going to have that many kings once we limp and they check. A lot of the kings are played aggressively versus limp. So the top pair, our opponent having top pair is unlikely. Our opponent having the diamonds is also, of course, unlikely just by merit of the fact it's a flop flush. But our opponent will have a 4 with diamonds, a 10 with diamonds. There's a question mark as to how often they're supposed to check raise with their diamonds. They won't have that many big flush draws. Queen deuce off, for example, is supposed to be a shove versus limp. Queen 3 off, queen 4 off. So queen of diamonds doesn't exist that often, unless it's the flop flush. The ace-high flush draw is almost always going to be in pre-flop as well, so there's no chance of a reg basically having an ace in this situation unless it's the flop flush, which again is probably just a shove or a large ISO. So, as played, the question was, did we miss a value bet? And I think there is a chance we did. So we bet flop for value, and on the turn we're going to continue barreling because what we get value from are the draws here. We get called again, and once we get to this river, you know, we obviously get counterfeited to a certain degree, but if you really think about it, our opponents should not have any kings that outkick us that often. Our opponents can still call with a 10. Our opponents probably always fold a 4. In fact, the turn probably folds a 4 unless it's the 4 with the jack of diamonds or something like that, which is probably not going to call a river bet anyway. So now we're at a kind of interesting turning point in the hand because do we want to value town ourselves into a trapped diamond draw? Are we really going to get that much value from a 10 or a 4 based on the way the hand was played? Against a reg, a 10 is a very reasonable call down, especially if you have a diamond in your hand. So we might miss a bet here, honestly. That's what we're trying to figure out. So we do check out on the river, but I think we were acting a bit too quickly here. We should have considered it more. Out of interest, let's take a look at some of those assumptions. So it is the river check that is the blunder. Everything else looks perfect. Everything else is good. And just going back to the flop now, let's just take a look at how often our opponents are supposed to check raise. Because if you have a weak diamond draw on this board, you probably do want to get more chips in quite quickly. So flop comes down here. Big blind checks. We bet. Is there a check raise? I'm sure there is. There is a check raise to here and here. There is a check raise on both. 2 pairs check raising. That's 10-4. Like I said, our opponents just aren't going to have a king that often. Like, how often do they even have top pair? Yeah, lots of the offsuit ones. Like I said, it's mostly the hot. Yeah, these ones. Yeah, the actual literal flop flush with this end is the one that makes the most sense. Sorry, not flop flush, top pairs. The suited variety is the one most likely to check back versus limp, of course, and that is the one that makes the most sense. If you look at the kings here, there's so many gone, and then obviously the frequencies here diminish as well. So anyway, let's take a look at the actual check raises. Let's take a look at filters. So how often does the flush actually check raise? So obviously, depending on the strength of our flush, a lot of our assumptions here are true, right? So the weaker the flush, the more often we want to have a check raise. But also, the most likely made flushes with a queen or a jack are the literal flop flushes already, right? So this makes a lot of sense. Anyway, as played, bet, we get to the river, and basically it was just a missed value bet. So on the river, we are in the big blind, in the small blind, excuse me. Turn these off really quick. We don't need this or this or this or this. So we're just supposed to put it in here, basically, with any king. Any king and queens and all this stuff as well. And all the aces. Fair enough. That's really all there is to be said. We did miss the value bet, and if we took a, I do find that when we're on stream, we do rush these decisions, and we need to give it more consideration. We probably missed a couple of value raises as well today, which is not good because we're playing a game of very fine margins. All right, so 10-9 suited. This is a very specific one, the asymmetrical stack depth. So really quick, guys, sorry, in case you missed it. 8 big blind shove from the button. We have both players covered by a pretty significant margin. This player is more or less all in with any 2. And we folded 9-10. I honestly don't know. It feels like a spot where we're supposed to be calling. But let's take a look. It is a reg on the button, by the way. That does make a difference. Okay, so yeah, good fold. Because it was multi-way, I do think we take it out. Like I said, Queen 10 suited is probably in there. Yep, there you go. Okay, cool. So the small blind call in this spot is going to look like this. And I don't think that's particularly shocking. Just because the player in the big blind is forced all in effectively doesn't mean that we necessarily want to be calling with the similar range to the heads up. So that was a good fold. Happy days. Limping 8s, our opponent checks. Now, this is a really interesting one, guys. I think we are just supposed to be betting here. When our opponent does just check jam on us, we have to call, right? Our opponents are going to have a lot of mistakes in this range, plus they're going to have diamonds, plus they're going to have straight draws. Having the 8s isn't great because you would love for your opponent to have 8-7 here quite often, but that's not completely out of the picture. Let's take a look at the move. The thing is, the output here is never going to have your opponent check jamming. So it doesn't really make sense, but what we're going to double check here is how often we're supposed to be playing the flop as a bet. Now, chat kind of suggested that on the flop, pocket 8s is a better bet if you don't have the 8 of diamonds, and I tend to probably agree. But let's take a look. Pocket 8s specifically wants to do a fair amount of checking and a decent amount of betting, but I would say mostly check pocket 8s on this flop. Having the 8 of diamonds, we check a bit more. But generally speaking, we are just going to be, okay betting here. It looks like it's probably going to be pretty close in EV, but perhaps we are over c-betting here. Once there's a bet, our opponent is not really meant to be jamming much at all. I mean, it's not a thing, right? So this isn't really something that we can solve for, but obviously it's just going to be a call. I mean, seems pretty straightforward. The biggest issue that I have with missing this bet against an unknown player is your opponents are going to make much bigger mistakes than GTO, especially with bottom pair, middle pair in these situations. However, I mean, part of the benefit of betting here is because we want them to just check jam king 6 because they don't know what they're doing, right? Which is a huge coup for us. And so, kind of is what it is. The other thing is, most people aren't going to check jam on you at this stack depth, so this isn't a spot we get ourselves in often, right? Like, we want to avoid being in tough decisions where we have 8s on a 9-high board and we're getting shoved on, but most people are just going to play their hand face up, and when they do jam, they're not going to have top pair because people just don't like to play top pair like that. To be fair, that's not that true. On these lower boards, some people do panic and just ship the 9, which is what we saw, but fine. Very interesting. We need to be checking 8s there more often, though. And 8-7, jamming over a 7 big blind limp. I'm pretty sure this is GTO. This can be a just a straight NWTV lookup. So images, heads up, big blind versus limp, and we're at 7. So I'm confusing myself with perhaps the slightly deeper version. Where are we at? 8, 9, 10. Nope, I'm doing this too wide, but you can see where I was thinking. There's this, there are these yellows that sneak in here. It's 6-7 and 6-5 that like to make the move, and it happens very infrequently. We don't do this every time. It's not the same as their suited counterparts. But once we get this shallow, this is an overjam. We're doing this completely incorrectly. 6-7 suited, you can still get in there at about 10% frequency at 9. But, oh, yeah, that's just a mistake. We're being too wide in this spot. This should just be a check. All right, that's all the hands marked for today. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I actually got to dash, guys. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for another good session. We definitely made some progress today. We need to do a lot better than this, though, to get out of this sort of wonk that we found ourselves in. But I hope you guys will join me for the next one. Tomorrow I will do some more streaming for maybe a few hours, possibly. Again, like I said, guys, I'm trying to do more Mondays and Fridays, but it's not like a lock day unless we get it into the official content plan. Generally speaking, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even if they're just short streams, I want to be online with you guys more this year. In the event that they're not, don't be surprised, but we will have other content to look forward to this year outside of just these streams as well. If you guys haven't checked me out, !Nick in the chat. We'll give you the details to my social media. Please give me a follow, and I'll let you guys know when I'm online. I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a few hours of more Spin and Goes and hopefully more like that. I love you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Signing off for now.